Well, welcome back to the In Good Company podcast, where we believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. And I could not be in better company today as we are at this incredible studio here in Toronto called Grid Studios. This is one of those absolutely cannot miss episodes. Don't let the incredible ambiance and decor distract you from the guests that we have. If you're listening or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Without further ado, I want to welcome to the pod, episode 19, Anthony Sorella. Thank you so much for being on.
Oh man, thanks for coming by the studio. You took a long drive here, bro.
Oh man, from Rochester, New York, we drove all the way up, and I mean, you guys are obviously doing an incredible job from the moment we walked in. I mean, just feeling welcomed. Your team obviously is pumped to be here doing the work. What do you guys do? Where are you from? What's your story, man?
Yeah, wow, that's a loaded question. Okay, so first of all, we're here in Toronto, Canada. Few businesses. I don't want to confuse the listeners or the viewers, but I'll try to make it as simple as possible. My name is Anthony Sorella. I'm the co-founder of Neighbourhood Creative. We are a full-service marketing agency based out of Toronto, established 2019. So we are on year 6. April will be 6 years. We've managed clients from Gymshark. We've done stuff with the Movember campaign, top to bottom. We've worked with like massive clients, mom and pop clients, and we still do all of that. So that's the agency. And then during COVID, I started a podcast just for fun with my business partner, Ernesto. We wanted to make it cheeky. We called it Money Buys Happiness, just to kind of stir the pot a little bit, shake things up. And it was honestly a podcast that we created just to let our thoughts out, hoping maybe it brought some business to the agency. Before we knew it, thousands and thousands of subscribers were coming in. It ended up blowing up. We're at almost 120,000 subscribers, a couple 100,000 here and there, Instagram, TikTok, this and that. And that podcast turned into a business. And then from that, we launched our own network called MBH TV, which is basically, for anybody kind of wondering what that is, imagine Barstool Sports. We are basically acquiring IP. So we're buying shows and bringing talent onto the network. We are giving them their own show. We're producing it, editing it, running the social media, doing everything, top to bottom, running the sponsorships, the paid ads, doing the sales, everything. So yeah, that's high level.
Boom. That's the intro. And so Grid Studios is brand new though.
Yeah.
Talk about kind of the vision, the dream with this space. Obviously, We're incredibly inspired to be here. Thanks for setting aside some time.
Yeah, no. I appreciate you guys coming down. So essentially, obviously doing the podcast for 3 years, eventually signing a deal with the Nelk Boys, Full Send, which biggest YouTubers, I think, on the planet, in my opinion. We got to go to studios in Miami, studios in New York, studios in LA, studios in Austin, studios in Phoenix. Like we went everywhere. And we saw kind of what we liked in certain studios and what we didn't like in certain studios. And then we sort of brought that vision back to Toronto. Obviously, this is our hometown. We love this city. And we wanted to give, all the creators in our city an opportunity to shoot in a space that they've never seen before. And that was kind of the vision behind Grid. We just acquired this building. It's about 4,000 square feet here in Toronto, in the heart of downtown. And we closed up a room just to start, do a little test run. And we opened up Grid Studio, and that's kind of where we're sitting right now. So it is, and I'll guarantee this, it is the best studio in the city, equipment-wise, team-wise, setup-wise, sound-wise, the whole thing, for the cheapest price. We just undercut everybody because we didn't care. For us, this was like making money on this thing. Awesome. That's a cherry on top of everything else that we do. But, it was a place ultimately for creators in our city to be able to sit in front of the best quality equipment at the cheapest price. Because again, I'm sure as you know, when it comes to being a creator, it is a tough gig to get off the ground. And not everybody has the cash to go and get a videographer and
of course
this and that and run around the city and do their stuff. So we said, hey, we'll give it to you literally at our cost. Pump in here. We got cinema cameras, the lighting, the whole thing. Whatever it is you want to talk about, whoever you are, whatever person you want to be online, come here. We'll help you out. Cheapest price, best equipment. So we just want to give people an opportunity to dream a bit.
It's awesome, man. One of the things we were talking about before we started was my brother is my absolute hero. He was born with a syndrome called Apert syndrome, where he's got a physical disability, 4 functioning fingers on each hand. But growing up, he was 3 years older. Everybody, everywhere would just stare at him. And based on life circumstances, his story was basically muted. And he felt like anxiety and sitting alone at the lunch table and just being in a position where he was almost viewed as less than from other people. And I think one of the similarities that you and I share is we're excited to launch the Content House, which is right in the heart of Rochester, New York, where we're going to invite people to share the story that only they can share.
Sick.
And again, part of us coming today is to just be inspired by people that share that, right? And again, we're going to walk away certainly really, really pumped up about it. But I bring up my brother's story because there are people that are listening right now that life circumstance may have kind of cast them aside, or a coach or a teacher or a boss may have said to them that, hey, just be quiet and sit in the corner and follow the procedure, take the test, don't talk to your neighbor, do the thing. And they've actually believed this lie for a very long time, that their voice doesn't matter. And what I love about a space like this, and what I love about what we're building at the Content House with Thomas Media Group, is we're actually giving people the mic. We're giving them an opportunity. And what you guys are doing is you're cutting out all of the excuses, right? Yes. So, hey, you don't have a camera? Cool, we got one. Yeah. You don't have a great backdrop? Cool. You don't have a set? Great. Yeah. And the price? Oh, that's the problem? Cool. It's going to be the least expensive in the city. What stories have kind of come through the space? I know it's only a couple months live, but what are some of the interactions? And I mean, you mentioned some numbers, if you feel comfortable sharing, of the amount of people, foot traffic that's already come through here. What's it been like?
Yeah, wow. I mean, well, first of all, I want to congratulate you. That's incredible. I think there's not enough people going into business with that mindset. So you guys are opening the space, and of course, it's business. You need to make money. That's the point of doing it. But at the end of the day, you're doing it for a greater purpose of, giving people the opportunity to speak their truth, put the mic in front and tell us a story that no one's ever heard. You know what I mean? The stuff that you've been holding inside. So kudos to you.
Appreciate
that's incredible. That's really incredible. So, keep doing that, because that's exactly what we're doing here. When it comes to the studio, I mean, look, it's already seen some incredible success. We've had a couple hundred people roll through here already in the first little while that it's been open. We've got some good publications coming out of the city. Just, people can't really believe they've never seen anything like it out here, right? So that's been incredible for us, and obviously we're super, super grateful for it. And look, I mean, in terms of the stories that come through here so far, I'm sure there will be some, super incredible ones that will continue to come. But, to get specific, it's a little tough. But what I will say is that with a space like this and with a space like the one you're creating, the stories are endless. Yeah. Like, you can have anybody with any background, with any story that comes through here. We've had some really cool podcasts that are out of the city that I haven't had a chance to connect with, that we offered up the space. Hey, come shoot an episode here. I love to connect. And all of a sudden we're connecting with these creators who come from different religions, different cultures, different things. And that is even the bigger piece, is what they say on the mic. And it's great because that's broadcasted to the world. But then again, it's the outside of these doors. Like you said, we were chatting just outside. It was like, then we get intimate and have really deep conversations with these people. So to give you specifics, it'd be a little bit tough on some of the stories, but I would just say it's the impressive piece. And I think you'll see this, is the amount of stories and the vast, difference of, like, the first person that comes in on the day to the last person that comes in on the day is incredible. Yeah. The stories could be completely different, and you're going to look at the space and be like, wow, like, these stories, these moments were shared within our four walls.
It's incredible, man.
How cool is that? Right. So you're going to experience it, and it's a great feeling. It's an awesome
feeling. You guys know this on the marketing side, people engage with things that are human.
Correct.
And I think you guys are creating a space that is allowing humanity to shine, and I just think we were having a conversation earlier about even selling a product. When you buy some on Amazon, you're reading all the reviews first, because you want to see if a human has purchased this.
Exactly.
And again, you guys are knocking that out of the park as well.
Thanks.
One of the things that you're doing, I don't know all the details, but I'm going to ask you about it.
Sure.
You have little Easter egg, like, money drops in the city. Why are you doing this? And just talk, like, what is this going on? Like, just talk about it.
Dude, we are insane. I think we're a little bit insane. Okay. Let me walk you through it. So earlier last year, we were out in New York filming some podcast. We sat down with Trax NYC. I don't know if you're familiar with him. One of the most genuine guys I've ever met. Wow. Trax, I love you, bro. Everything you've done for us, thank you so much. He put us on to the idea of just, like, giving shit away. If you go to his Instagram, the guy's running around Manhattan saying like, guess how much this gold bar is. And if you get it right, you can have it. He told us, and he said it on our podcast, you could clip it. Last year, he gave away over $300,000 worth of gold, diamonds, and jewelry.
Wow.
So we said, okay, cool. Come back to Toronto, shooting some pods, doing our thing. And we're money buys happiness. So the first thing I thought right away was, for us to just start giving away money in whatever capacity is not off brand for us. It literally fits our brand. So, we're covered on that side. And I just went to my business partner, Ernesto, one day. I said, dude, meet me here. Jason, our shooter, he's going to come too. Meet me here at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever time it was. And we're just going to say we have $1,000 cash. We're going to hide it in a secret location here in Toronto. I know the whole fucking script. Come see where we hide it. Just to test it out. And so we shoot the video, we hide the money, we leave, and the reel goes crazy. Crazy. 1 million views, tens of thousands of shares, comments. People are almost in shock. They can't believe that we just did that. And don't get me wrong, it was a weird feeling to just like put $1,000 somewhere and just walk away. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. It was the weirdest thing. But we started to learn, okay, people were commenting like, oh, I would have loved to see like the person who got it. And then they were also thinking it was fake. So we had to like, okay, rearrange that thought process. So then we started hanging around. We'd leave the money and then we'd hang around to see who got it. And we started doing it every other week or something like that. And we were growing it. And for us, it was two things. It was a complete marketing play that had nothing to do with our podcast. Like, we weren't like, hey, we have the best podcast guest. We're just like, we're hiding money here. Come find it, right? But we had gained, in just under 60 days, we had gained like almost 40,000 followers, real people. And what we could confirm was that they were local.
Right.
So we knew right away, hey, we gained 40,000 followers from Toronto because this is where we're doing it. So hold on a second. If we picked it up and went and did it somewhere else, we could gain followers from that city. So we started understanding, whoa, this is bigger than we're thinking it is. I just thought it was a social media play, get a couple views and whatever. But again, this is marketing. This is the beauty of marketing. So we do that. And I think by the end of it, we had done, I don't know, maybe 30 to 40K given away, hidden all around. And it was just incredible, the community, because then we would end up staying, like I said, and meeting people. It got to the point where there'd be 300-400 people showing up periodically for like across an hour. And people would show up an hour later knowing damn well the money was gone.
Yep.
But then they were like, hey, we just want to meet the two lunatics that are leaving money everywhere. Like, this is insane. And so it started building a community that way. And then into the holidays and stuff, we had paused it. And then now coming into the New Year's, we're actually about to launch. I don't know when this is launching, if it's before or after, but we're about to launch 50K in 50 weeks. So we're going to do $1,000 a week for 50 weeks straight. It's going to be a mixture because we do want to allow people who don't live in Toronto or Miami, that we bounce back and forth. We want to give the opportunity to people online. So we're going to be doing some really cool, interesting, like online challenges for people to win the $1,000. So not every single day it's going to be, or not every single week, it's going to be like a local sort of scavenger hunt style. There is going to be some online stuff too. And then, yeah, I think the obviously, like I mentioned, it's about gaining traction. It works. We know it's a proven concept. We're able to sort of geo-locate where the followers are coming from, which is incredible. And then the final piece to it, and we actually started it on the tail end of when we paused it, was we're building an email and text list. So if you want hints, you sign up for the emails and text, and like an hour or 2 hours before it goes live, you're going to get a little hint, right? And so we've been building that list now. My goal is to build that list to 100,000 people, and then sort of depends where we want to go. We're considering something like teaming up with a brand and doing like a massive $1 million giveaway, like something that's like never been done before. But we're sort of building all these we're building all of these parallels and these columns off of this giveaway. We're even looking at ideas of maybe like, hey, maybe this is our live streaming play, and maybe we're gonna sort of like frame this to be, the Mr. Beast of live streaming. Right? No one's doing. Mr. Beast is all about these challenges, giving money away, the whole thing. No one on live stream is doing that. So it's cool. I probably just hit you with so many things.
No, it's great, man.
It started with just a stupid Instagram video. But what we saw from it was incredible. And we're the kind of guys where we go, hey, like, I think this is in business in general. When you're drilling. You're drilling different parts of the ground, different areas. The second you drill and you see that little sprout of oil, drill. drill even harder because let that oil flow. So for us, it was our drilling. Finally, we drilled, we dropped the video, the first cash giveaway. The likes go crazy, the views, everything. That was our little spurt of oil.
Yep.
All right, keep drilling.
Incredible advice.
Thanks.
I think that there are, I mean, for people that are like, I'm not giving away 50K, totally understand.
You don't have to do that, by the way.
But the idea of drilling until you find oil, I just think there's so many people, back to what we were talking about earlier around, I'm doing a specific job because dad thinks that I should, or I'm stuck in this 9 to 5 that I absolutely hate, but I see these things that I get inspired by and I wish I could make the jump or make the leap. I'm so encouraged to hear that not only did you make the leap, but you're not settling.
Well, think about this for a second, because what you bring up is an interesting point. Imagine me having to go to my parents' house and my grandmother's house and explain to them that I'm hiding money around the city.
Yeah.
They're like, Anthony, what is wrong with you? Like, what are you doing? And the average person would be like, yeah, you're right. I'm just burning money. Like, I shouldn't do this. And for me, it was them saying that was even more proof that what I'm doing was working.
Feels you.
Because I was making people say, what the hell is this guy doing? That's marketing. People saying, what am I seeing? There's no better way, no better form of marketing. There's no better metric to marketing. If you have people going, what the hell did I just watch? You're winning. You're hitting, right?
Boom.
And so when we started getting those responses from people that we knew and then strangers, it was done. But you also made a good point. You said, you don't have to go give 50K away. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go give the money away. It's not easy to do. But there are smaller components where give people value that they can't believe you're giving them. It doesn't always come in the form of dollars. That may come in the form of not gatekeeping information. And that's a big one. And I noticed in Toronto, I don't know how it is in Rochester, that's a big, big thing here. Everyone gatekeeps.
Yep.
There is a scarcity mindset in this city, and I'm trying my best with my team to change that. Abundance mindset. There's enough to go around for everybody.
Yep.
Okay? So don't give away 50K, but give away information that people can't believe you're giving away. There you go. That's exactly how you match what we're doing in a way that costs you no money.
It's great, man.
That's simple.
It's great. Before we get to the rapid fire hot seat questions, which I hope you're scared about, because that's
I am.
Okay,
I'm
good.
usually the guy on the other side giving the rapid fire questions. So this is good.
I love it. My last question for you. Here we go. My last question for you. What is your greatest contribution to the world?
Wow. That's a heavy question. I want to say my knowledge, and I'm still learning every day, so it's not perfect. But back to what I was saying earlier about not gatekeeping information, and you can ask my team. I'm transparent about everything. I let everybody know everything, and I'm more than happy to give away any knowledge that I have to anybody who can use it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm Gandhi. I'm not saying I'm the one you need to almighty listen to me. But if anyone has ever come to me for information, for some advice on something, and I truly believe that I could help in some way, I think for me, that's the best thing I can do right now. And that may change in my later forms as I grow and learn more and step into new industries and stuff like that. But I think right now, if I had to place it on one thing, it's just the knowledge that I'm giving away. I'm more than happy to do it. I never charged anybody for a course. I never sold a high ticket thing. I don't care. You DM'd me. You said, hey, bro, I want to come there, shoot in your spot, 30 minutes on my pod, and then do you have time to talk after? And what'd I say?
Yeah.
I said, yeah, no problem. You got my time, bro. You're going to come all the way here from Rochester? I'm grateful for you.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that you even messaged me to ask me. That makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That gives me a sense of worth, belonging. Hell yeah, bro. I want to tell you everything, you know?
Dude, I'm going to answer it for you. Your greatest contribution to the world is generosity.
That might be a better way to put it. Sure.
I mean, it's the knowledge, but you have a generosity, whether it's the money, it's the knowledge, it's the space.
I think this is the cool thing. I come from an interesting background. which I'm sure we'll get into. But, you know, the cool thing about being in marketing, what I find is, you know, some people look at it from the perspective of, I just need to go viral. Like, I just love going viral and I know the way to do it. And there's a recipe and that's great. Obviously, that's a massive piece of it. But the part that I was so drawn to about, you know, creating this business was being able to, A, like you said, help people tell their story. But B, you're ultimately helping someone else's business, right? And so your work directly affects food on someone else's plate. So it's a heavy weight on your shoulders, but the payoff can be so incredible.
Yeah.
Right? The payoff can be taking someone's business from 100,000 to 200,000, 200,000 to 500,000, 500,000 to $1 million, right? And so I think for me, that was always the coolest thing. You know, we've thought for years about starting our own product, right? Because we do marketing for other people. We've taken brands from literally inception. I think our biggest success story is Rocky Health. They came to us, idea, business sort of built in the background. It's a men's telehealth company. They came to us at zero, had never launched. And we took them from zero to they're doing, I don't even know if I'm allowed to say this. I'm gonna have to beep this, but I'll confirm with them after. But from zero to 1.5 million a month in reoccurring revenue, you know? And so you see that, and then, you know, I see their team growing, and the way, you know, the revenue numbers are great. It's awesome. You know, it's like, wow, like it's an ode to what we've been able to be a part of in launching that brand. But the other side of it that I see is how many people are getting food put on their table because of the work we did to get this company there. So I like to dissect deeper than just like views and likes. It's like, what have we done for this business? And in turn, us doing this for the business has been able to help actually employ this many people. You know what I'm saying? So
it's incredible.
I try to see it in a further light, but anyway, sorry. No, rambling.
No, dude, that's great. And one of the things that I was going to bring up too is there's always this tension in marketing where you kind of have the marketing and the sales. So you have some companies that are like, oh, it's the marketing company's job. They're going to get these leads in and we're going to do all this stuff. But then you got a sales team that maybe isn't following up on the leads or whatever. How have you guys at Neighborhood been able to really kind of bridge that gap a little bit? Or where do you guys maybe put up the lines of, hey, here's what we do and here's how we can connect with what you guys should be doing?
Correct. So we are finally this year looking to dive into the paid ads world. It's never been something that we focused on. We've been all organic, which, listen, is a tough sell a lot of the times. People are like, if I'm giving you 10,000 a month, like I want to know that I'm getting 15,000 back, 20,000 back, right? And in my world, that's just impossible, right? I create organic content. I build a brand for you. I tell your story, and I make sure that when people see your brand via paid ads and they come to your page and they look at it and they see the content, that it feels real and they trust you enough to you know, get across the line. So I'm just transparent, man. I think that's what it comes down to. I think the conversation needs to be extremely transparent with clients. It's like, this is who we are. This is what we do. And at the end of the day, if your expectations are me creating content and it converting exactly to a sale, I can't guarantee you that. Therefore, maybe I'm not the right fit for you, right? And I think that's where people in business in general make the mistake. And I understand why. When you're when you're in your early days, you just want dollars through the door. Like you want revenue in, and you want to go from that 0 to 10K a month, 0 to 20K, so on and so forth. And you're willing to take any business that comes, and understandably so. But I think as time goes on, you realize, well, first and foremost, why would you want to sort of burn a future relationship? I think that's what happens, because a lot of times you're promising things that you can't actually deliver on.
Yep.
And if I promise you something and I can't deliver on it, you're never working with me again.
Yep.
But if I tell you straight and I say, hey, listen, Mike, you're looking for this. This isn't who I am. This isn't what my service is. And this isn't what the total outcome will be. I'm this person. And maybe I'm not the right fit for your journey right now. But maybe in a year from now, when the dollars are flowing a little bit more, whatever your scenario is, I might be the right person for you at that point. So I'd rather walk away from that relationship, not go for the quick dollars, because 3 months in, you're going to be like, hey, you're doing all this content for me. And yeah, maybe it's going viral and it's doing great, but it hasn't converted to sales. And I'm going to say, well, sorry, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to start a relationship like that?
Yep.
So to answer your question, transparency. You just got to be,
great, man.
You just got to be transparent in business, especially today with all these fucking fake gurus and everyone telling you I can do this and I can do that and then never fucking delivering.
Yep.
Excuse me. Can we surround this?
Yeah,
podcast?
you're fine. Yeah.
Okay. The being transparent, it's the long game, but it is like, that's how you build a real foundation of a business. So that's what we've always been about, transparency since day one. Again, I won't lie. We did take things on early on that, you know, we weren't fully confident in.
Of course.
But we learned that lesson very quickly. And, you know, we ended up fixing those relationships where we could. And now it's transparency fully from top to bottom.
Yeah, I've always found early on in my life, but certainly in business, do what you say you're going to do. Like, integrity matters in the highest degree, especially with all the fake influencers and people buying followers and like people projecting all of this success, but actually not having it. Mm-hmm. There was a really funny post that you put in your story. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, where somebody reached out and they basically were like, what am I missing? Like, you've got barely 40,000 followers, and you know, I'm seeing all this stuff. And it's like, he was trying to take the vanity metric and apply it to a numeric, like dollar amount or something. Talk about, as you get success and as you do well, obviously your podcast is crushing. As you start getting some of this success, you do get some haters. You do get some people that are coming in and they're really trying to hit you. How have you been able to manage? And again, obviously you're snickering at it, but how have you been able to manage what comes with the success that you guys have been having?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, I think we really started to see it. We've always seen it. Like, myself and Ernesto, my business partner, we come from nightlife. Like, we were literally like club promoters chugging fucking tequila. And then COVID came and we're like, we need out of this life. And, you know, so many things came into play, but we started the agency. And the first thing we had to do was convince people that we weren't the promoters you would see on Instagram chugging tequila bottles every weekend. Now we're like these professionals that like trust us with your marketing, right? So in that change of like perception of who we were to who we wanted to become, like professionals, we had hate there. And that was more like local hate.
Sure.
And that one was pretty easy to kind of like breeze through. I mean, I looked at these people and my initial thought was like, well, I don't want to be you. So if you're saying things about me, negative things about me, and I look at you and I say, not looks wise, but like, your lifestyle isn't the lifestyle I want. Yeah. What you say to me does not matter. So that was like the first level of it, where it was kind of like on a smaller scale, more local. And then when the podcast started popping off and we signed the deal with Full Send and we started working with those guys, that was where it was like, you know, love, but also hate on a level that we've never seen before. You know, you're talking millions and millions of views, hundreds of thousands of comments and shares and DMs. Like, it just went crazy. And that was when it was like, whoa, right? And now you have these complete strangers who aren't just, you know, mocking you like, oh, this guy thought he was a promoter, now he thinks he's a marketing professional. They were like, buddy, you're fucking ugly. The way you say this, you're an idiot. I don't know why these guys would sign you. Like, and you're, you know, again, it was 80 to 90% love. Like, Full Send, great job signing these guys. Like, they're awesome, blah, blah, blah. But the you know, the 10% of hate by the numbers was way more than we've ever seen before. Yeah. And so it was just, that was a learning lesson. I mean, again, it's tough when people attack you like personally. Of course. Right? Although it's like strangers and it's probably some loser in his fucking basement. I mean, who has like literally never achieved anything in his life. Yeah. You still take it because you're just like, wait, are they, like, I talk like this is my accent. I have this little lisp, this or that, whatever. Like, you start to say, like, as they start to pile up, like, are they right? But then again, it always goes back. You know, I had to remember that the same way I would get over like the local hate was the way I would get over like the global hate, which was like any fucking loser in his basement talking about the way I look, my haircut, the way I talk, whatever, the guest, the way I ask that question. I'm like, I don't want that guy's life. So therefore, what he says does not matter. Yeah. But again, I would be lying to you if I said, oh, it was so easy to get over like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's a sort of muscle that you have to keep flexing.
Yeah.
And then you get to the point where you're just like, I don't really give a fuck about what anybody thinks.
It all comes down to, where do you get your worth from? If you get your worth from the opinions of other people, then you're going to have to keep going back to other people to keep getting your worth.
That's correct.
Right? So for you have a security in who you are, the way that God made you, wired you, the whole deal, where you show up places and, hey, I may not be for everybody, but the people that I'm supposed to serve, I'm going to serve.
You're spitting the absolute facts. And I think the final piece to that is, number one, exactly. I was built this way. God built me this way. And that's who I'm supposed to be on this earth. Number two, if you don't cut me a check, what you say means fucking nothing to me.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to, at this point, a few billionaires, a couple hundred millionaires, and just like, guys in the 20 to 50, $70 million range via the podcast. And they all say the same thing. Anyone who's not cutting you a check does not fucking matter.
Yeah.
Their opinions do not matter. And I'm like, yeah, fuck, that's the truth, man. You don't cut me a check. I don't care what you think about what I do, what you think about what I say, how I operate. It doesn't matter. You don't cut me a check, bro. You don't put food on my plate.
Yeah.
Right? So a couple different ways to look at it.
Yeah, it's good, man. And one of the things that you said earlier that I just want to come back to, I think as people evolve in life, there are always these like reincarnations of a different version of someone. They say when you're married, every 7 years, you're basically married to a new person. Like you have to keep evolving. Yep. I think in business, when you guys made that pivot from being these club promoters to being in the marketing agency, for someone listening that's maybe in this kind of cocoon season where they're about to evolve into this new thing, but they're nervous about what people are going to think, or, oh, well, all my followers are from this portion of my life. There's no way they're going to cross the bridge and come to this side. What advice might you have for someone that's kind of going through that reincarnation type of season?
Wow. Again, that's a great question. And I think you actually nailed it. We had the thought of, okay, we go from posting this club content to all of a sudden posting this like marketing content, trying to go viral, doing that thing. What if the club people don't like it? Perfect. You are now filtering your audience for who you are becoming, right? But now you can take that a step further. And in life, sometimes you need to filter out the people around you to start fitting into who you're becoming. Your circles start changing, right? So I think it's essentially, it's just that. It's just understanding that. And it's tough for people because, you grow up, in a small town, a big city, whatever, but you have your friend group. And you think these are going to be my friends forever, And the sad reality is a lot of times for a lot of people, they're not. Because as your ideas change and as your life changes and as you want to move in different directions, they might not always want to follow. They may not, have similar interests anymore. And so things are going to change. So from the social media side and a marketing perspective, good. You want the people who are following you that don't fuck with what you're creating to fall off. Yeah. Again, you're just removing them and you're reconfiguring who your audience is so you can start speaking to people that are within the range that you want to be in. In life, it's the same concept. Now, maybe less dry.
Sure.
Maybe these are tough conversations. These are conversations that I've had with old school friends, where, hey, listen, like we're in two different seasons of our lives. You're headed here. I'm headed here. I still love you. I still care about you. You're my brother, but the reality is you may not hear from me as much. I'm grinding, I'm working, whatever. And I'm always ready to catch up, grab a beer, do this, do that, whatever. But I'm headed in this direction and you're headed in that direction, and those are tough conversations that I find a lot of time people are scared to have. Yeah. Personally, because they don't want to let go of who they were. But again, like you said, in life, that's constantly changing. And the other side of them being scared to have that conversation is because they're scared of the reaction they're going to get. And the reaction just speaks to who that person is. And if that person is someone you love and care about and they love and care about you, they should have the same reaction. They should be understanding of it and still want to keep that relationship in whatever capacity. Yeah. Right. So that's growth. I think that's growth in life, right?
Absolutely growth. I mean, I have a 5-year-old son. I was just having a conversation with my buddy Sal about this. There comes this pivot point in life where my son, if I'm raising him right, he's going to make his own decisions. And he may make a decision that I don't actually want him to make. but I need to trust in this window of my life where I am his superhero and he trusts everything that I'm saying and everything I say is right, even though it's not. But there will come a time where I actually want him to make a decision where it's maybe against the grain, or it's kind of, because I'm trying to grow a strong, capable, self-sufficient human being. And, but that's a pivot, and that takes some time.
That's huge. I can imagine as a parent, that must be tough because you just only want to see your child win, right? But it's funny. I was watching, I think it was a Jordan Peterson interview, and he was speaking to some girl, and I don't want to butcher it, but anyways, long story short, he was saying, how do you, like, you want your kid to become competent. Like you want to raise a competent child, someone who's loved, this and that. And she's like, no, Jordan, you want to create a resilient child, someone who's going to be able to face challenges on their own and be able to find the solutions, like build that resilience. And so I think you're doing exactly that. The resilience is important. I find that growing up, I don't even know why, maybe the way my parents raised me, I was very resilient. And I think when you have that sort of, that piece of your life set up and you build resilience as a child, you set yourself up for success because as you said 35 years old.
Yeah.
I'm 28. I'm turning 29 in a couple months, especially in business. But I think in life in general, you were going to get slapped in the face a million times.
No doubt.
You're going to run into a million brick walls. But if the resilience factor is there and it's built into you, you will always find your way through, right?
Yeah.
And so
yeah,
you're killing it. That's exactly what you should. I think you're crushing it.
It's great, man. I appreciate that. We have this part of the podcast. It's one of my favorite parts. It's called Fails of the Week.
Okay.
And this could be Fails of the Year, whatever it is. But I as we alluded to earlier on, there's so much on social that's show the best, hide the rest type of mantra. What is that one fail that you guys have had, maybe as a business, or just this story that you feel like someone who's grinding it out right now that only sees the tons of subscribers you've got on your podcast, they see the new grid studio, like they see all the success. What's kind of that fail that you think would be a fun story to share?
I have a lot of fails.
Of course, bro.
I think 6 years in with Neighborhood, Grid just launched, Money Buys Happiness, the podcast, 3 years, MBH TV, the network, into our second year. So, I mean, you only get that far with failing a trillion times. One fail though that I don't think I've ever told anybody. I'll give it to you. It's a pretty interesting story. Nathan, you're going to laugh at this one. A couple years ago when we were a smaller agency, but we were crushing in terms of like our leads were flying in. Like we had clients that were probably even too big for us at the time. Like we probably couldn't even service them properly. But we were crushing. We got hit up by Poker Stars, I want to say. Poker Stars? I think it was Poker Stars. One of those massive poker companies. And, they hit us up. Hey, we love what you guys are doing. Like you guys seem to be like the new up and coming, agency in Toronto. Our thing is based out of Toronto, blah, blah, blah. We're looking for a new agency for this, this, and this. Are you guys interested? Of course, put a proposal together, send it off. Awesome. Couple meetings, whatever. And then they wanted us to do basically a fake campaign, like a sort of like show them what we can do, like a test campaign. And my stupid ego, being at a point where we were making a good amount of money, more than I had ever seen in my life, and seeing the clients roll in and all this stuff and never remembering that like, hey, there could be bad days in business. I said to them, yeah, we're not in a position to do like anything for free. And we didn't get that client. And to this day, I regret that. I regret not doing it for free because I'm the biggest preacher of do shit for free. You could ask the team after you walk out of the studio, they will tell you, Anthony says, do anything for free. Build a relationship, show them what we can do. And I let my ego get in the way. And that's probably one of the biggest fails of my business today. I don't think I ever shared that, was not doing a fucking free campaign that I probably had in the bag because I know how to sell people. It's like one of my strong suits and our work pretty much spoke for itself. We just need to do a test campaign. And my dumbass ego was like, whatever, huh? Test campaign? We have all these clients. We're crushing. Like, who are we to do test campaigns? And it's funny because I only even built the company to that point by doing free shit. So I don't know what was in my mind that day, that week. Huge L, massive L. I still think about it to this day. But when I say, and I think this is an important point, when I say it still haunts me and I still regret it, I don't let it consume me, but I let the regret sit there because it helps me make better decisions moving forward. So I always remember how I felt when I finally woke up and realized, fuck, I messed up on getting a huge client. I always remember that feeling so that anytime a similar situation rolls around, I'll never make that same mistake twice.
It's great, man. There's a difference between learning from something and wearing something.
True.
Right?
True.
Ironically, we just signed Poker Stars. So that's really funny.
Come on.
I'm kidding.
Dude, congratulations. I would have been like, that's amazing.
Dude, can you imagine?
Funny.
You're like,
dude, I would have been, hey, buddy, here's what we sent them. Fucking
I'm kidding.
Rapid fire. Let's go.
Rapid fire questions. Here we go.
Okay.
If you could interview any person, dead or alive, on your podcast, who would it be?
My grandfather that I never met.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
If you could give $1 million right now, who would you give it to?
My mom.
Amazing. Let's not get emotional during the rapid fire. Let's just stay
You're
steady
hitting me with
here.
emotional questions, man.
Yeah. What's the best marketing campaign you guys have ever run?
50K in 50 weeks. We're launching it this week.
Boom. What's the biggest lesson you've learned as an entrepreneur?
Never stop believing in your vision. Don't let anybody change that. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. Stay consistent. The boat will twist. The boat will turn. But ultimately, if you truly believe in what you're doing and you're working hard, you'll get to where you want to go.
If you could only use one social platform for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Instagram.
Boom. The gram. That's why you called this the grid. You know,
There you go.
Got to. What's the most memorable reaction that you guys have gotten from giving money away?
There's been a lot of them. The best one was I was short on rent this month, and this gets me to where I need to be.
Beautiful. Last question. When you become a millionaire, what's going to be your first purchase?
Well, I've passed the millionaire net worth, but let's say when I get to 10 million. When I get to 10
No,
million.
I said billionaire, bro.
Oh, billionaire?
This is what's in your Instagram bio.
Oh.
I said billionaire.
Oh, snap. When I get to a billionaire, dude, when I get to a billionaire, I've already bought everything I want. I'm good. Probably, but if I don't before I get to the B number, the B letter, a soccer team, like a professional sports team in Italy. I'm manifesting on this podcast. I will buy a professional sports team in the Italian soccer league, the Serie A.
You heard it here first on the In Good Company podcast that you, sir, will be owning a soccer team. Let's go.
Let's go.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to In Good Company, where we really do believe that the best parts in business happen in good company. Thanks so much. Appreciate you, brother.
It's a pleasure.